welcome. We are broadcasting live from the GlobalNutriPrepreneurs, the premier global gateway and unified operating system transforming the future of the global agri-food economy. Today, the global food system stands at a critical crossroads. While the demand for functional health, wellness, and nutritional security is expanding exponentially, early-stage innovators face massive roadblocks. Fragmented supply chains, opaque cross-border regulations, and a staggering volume of unvetted noise that isolates brilliant founders from institutional capital. The cost of this friction isn't just measured in lost revenue, it is measured in the unacceptably high rate of global food waste and systematic nutritional insecurity. Promoted by the Global Council for Agri-Food Trade and Innovation and the Global Council for the Promotion of International Trade, GlobalNutriPreneurs was engineered to dismantle these barriers. We are moving decisively past passive business directories, powered by a robust digital operating system featuring AI-driven founder mentor matching, automated regulatory compliance hubs, and an integrated virtual deal room. We are systematically transforming high-potential ventures into scalable investment-grade nutri-business. Our ecosystem operates across 6 integrated strategic pillars, uniting a dedicated global R&D network, shared physical infrastructure via decentralized common facility centers, and an ESG-compliant trade and investment marketplace. Right now, our team is executing a massive global pipeline evaluation, reviewing over 10,000 agriculture, food, and nutrition businesses across more than 150 countries. Our mission is clear: to uncover the elite innovators shaping the next era of wellness, unlock the friction-free global market access, and actively drive a 40% reduction in global post-harvest food losses. Today, as part of our Global Trade, Investment, and Sustainability Forum series, we are mapping out the blueprints for this agricultural revolution. Joining us is a leader whose work sits at the very frontier of this transformation. Please welcome to the global stage our guest for today, Isaac Olufemi Abioye, is the Chief Task Assigner at Dekaizen Worldwide Limited, a premier Nigerian sports insurance brokerage and technology consultancy, where he leverages over 2 decades of experience to drive the command and technological transformation of Africa's sports economy. As a seasoned advisor, specialty risk architect, and a convener of Sports Meet Tech Africa, Abioye has pioneered landmark Pan-African sports tech accelerators, secured key research funding, and co-created Nigeria's inaugural National Sports Industry Policy alongside Nigeria's Sports Industry Working Group. His multidimensional leadership bridges founders, institutional investors, and sports administrators across the continent, combining expertise in specialty sports insurance, dual talent youth, safeguarding through the African Student Football Union, and venture building frameworks that turn emerging sports enterprises into scalable global competitive industries. Thank you for joining us today to help shape the future of global entrepreneurs. I now request you to kindly proceed with your presentation. Over to you.
Thank you very much, for the opportunity to be in the Global Nutripreneur Center, and your community is a very important one that I am privileged to be making a presentation to. So thank you, and good day to everybody joining us from the Global Nutripreneur community. My name, as rightly introduced, is Femi Abioye. Today, I'll talk you through a simple but powerful idea that we developed, which is turning athletes into agri champions. We could name it SEED Agri, which stands for Sports People Empowerment and Employment Development in Agriculture. It is a movement that we're planning to work on. We're trying to move from pitch, which everybody knows that is used for athletes, to plantation. The SEED Agri Revolution movement is an emerging Africa, entering Africa $1 trillion food economy with the new second chance career path for African retired athletes. You will agree with me that the rise of athlete-preneur in Africa will help us to bring opportunity, and this is the bridge that Seed Agric is planning to breach. The problem we are trying to solve is the fact that, as we all know, that athletes train for a particular career, and that too soon, some of them get into injury issues, and they could not complete the tenure of their career. And it's also instructive to know that a lot of them, while they are building this career, do not get involved in a second skill development. Some of them drop out of school, they don't have vocational experience, but they concentrate on building a football career, which most of the time end at age 35, with over 40 years ahead of some of them. But no structured transitional plan have been put in place for them. At the same time, Africa faces a lot of youth unemployment rate up, which is up to almost 60%, which is also a particular percentage of the number of youth we have on the continent. And yet, food and agri-business market is projected to reach 1 trillion by 2030. Seed agric exists basically because these two realities belong together. Seed agric, therefore, was created to solve this challenge that I have enumerated earlier, but not through charity, not as a fallback, but as a high growth, high impact second career pathway for athletes and people involved in the sports ecosystem who will have 40 years of productive life ahead of them. So the question now is, what is Seed Agric? Seed Agric is Africa's first structured athlete to agriculture pathway. We don't teach athletes to farm alone. We teach them to build agri businesses, manage supply chain, and lead teams in a skill they already understand from sport. Athletes don't start from zero. They start from the discipline that they have already imbibed through sport. I mean, you will understand that sports teach you how to be a team player, which is what agric is all about. It's also seasonal. You understand? So athletes have been used to preparing in a seasonal way. So there's a place for you to prepare as an athlete for a football season ahead of you. And we know that even for an agric purpose, there is a place for you to prepare for the pre-planting season, getting your seed right, planting, and then harvesting before you go to post-harvest consideration. These are cycles that an average athlete have been disciplined into understanding how it operates. And so, to buttress what I've said, how does it work in practice? We recruit sports people from different sport genres. Our proof of concept was done with a football club because a football team only trains morning and evening. They have a lot of time during the day that they can use to attend. So we recruit them, we train them on best practice in agriculture, even including aquaculture. You understand? The whole lot. And then we help them when they have imbibed all the knowledge. We then help them to launch and help them to scale. Our model already model or mirror what athlete performance style is already used to. This is not a theory, like you know. This is something that is replicable in the already established athletes way. And that is what we're doing presently. Again, CDAPIC is the first structure athlete to we call it Agripreneur pathway. Like I said, we don't only teach them. Sorry, I'm repeating that. Okay. So because I've mentioned the fact that we work with a lot of partners in getting this done, particularly with leagues where you have opportunity to embed the training program into a season-long activities. So the athletes are a bit more imbibing in that spirit. So our partnership is our engine for this project. We are official collaborators with different leagues, which directly we use for the player agri development program. This is critical because mindset change must happen before their retirement. You understand? Not after. When they now get into injury process and they're now looking for what to do, it's not the best time to start making them an agripreneur. But if you embed them from the beginning of their career, particularly the league that we work with is catering for the grassroots below the age of 20, which also coincide with the good volume that we already have in Africa. So at that age, we're already presenting the agric as a very viable pathway and a second line career path for them. This is critical because when we change those mindsets, it's made the active player see the legendary opportunities that agri can provide. And we're also privileged to also be working with a couple of mentors. Some of them who have also played for one of our partner is Daniel Omokachi. He's a household name in football in Nigeria. He has a very big farm, and we partner with him so as to create the understanding that playing football cannot stop you from having a second line of skill. You understand? And we're encouraging other ex-footballers in his category to also spend some of the money that they have saved up while they were playing football to put it in agri in such a way that it also create opportunity for employment. And that way we will have succeeded in reducing the employment challenges currently bedeviling the African youth scene. We said the agri athlete future is ready. The food system, like we all know, is transforming. And we are deliberately positioning our athletes. Like I said earlier, they are the big youth that you have. An average youth on the continent of Africa want to play football or want to participate in a particular sport. And we believe that if we also position them to see the opportunities, they can lead in the revolution that we're looking at to create for agriculture on the continent. Athletes understand the fact that there is a performance nutrition that they need to imbibe for them to play at their best. You understand? Food is a very important thing for them. So it buttress the fact that it's easier for them to understand what we're trying to do and see how there is a natural bridge into functional foods into recovery snacks. You know, athletes, when they finish playing, they have exert their energy in so many ways. The global movement that they are functional recovery snacks that some of them take. A lot of them like to eat banana because it gives them immediate glucose. And so these are already things that we're beginning to encourage them to look at. So when they are producing what they are also going to eat, it gives healthy convenience food for the whole ecosystem. Agripreneur, like we also call them, can then also build brands that are science-backed, cultural relevant, and aspiration for young population in Africa. Imagine one of the big names in African football, like Osimhen, decide to start an healthy snack line. He has over 1 million followers. That is already a 1 million opportunity, not to talk of the direct athlete ecosystem that he already built. You understand? And so these are the things that we're working towards to do. And in scaling seed agri, we discovered that, and based on some of the policy work that we have done, that it requires a focused system level approach with key insights in athlete discipline, coupled with the opportunity in agri itself. We believe that will give us a replicable model that we can replicate in different parts of Africa where there is an arable land, and even beyond. I mean, it will interest you that sport is a global conversation. And so we can encourage a lot of sport people to see the opportunity that they can derive both from the social aspect and the economic aspect. How do we contribute to the conversation like we are doing now? We believe at Seed Agri that GlobalNutriPreneurs is a very perfect partner for us because you bring agri-tech, you bring capital and market access across over 150 countries. We don't take that for granted. And we bring pipeline of discipline, motivated athletes ready to build agri startups in the different aspects of the value chain. Together, is our understanding, I believe, that we can co-develop athlete agri program across different target markets. When I say target market, different sport codes. We can connect retired athletes with agri entrepreneurs for mentorship so that they can also, some of them can invest and some of them can contribute their strength, I use that word deliberately, in that ecosystem. And we can together build investment-ready athlete venture. Right now, one of the big conversation in the athlete or in the sport world is what you call athlete economy. Right now, a lot of athletes are no longer keeping their money with bankers or investment houses. They started investing directly in the industry that they understand. And if we prepare this kind of investment-ready opportunity for some of them, we are convinced that they will put their hard-earned money into something, like I said, have social and economic benefits. And then we will be able to generate field data and build case studies on athlete livelihood transitioning, which become a veritable opportunity for other people to live on. So you will agree that Seed Agri is not just a program. It is a movement that we're looking forward to drive in these 3, 4, 5 years. So you can ask why now? Why athletes? Why Agri? You can ask a lot of questions. But let me leave you with this. Because athletes understand discipline, because athletes understand seasonal opportunities, which give them resilience. And because athletes understand performances, they want to win. So they put everything that they have into anything they are involved with. We believe these are very important reasons why we must back them. And because they understand these things, Africa's biggest economic opportunity is about to blossom. Because the continent also cannot afford to waste this big talent and the time. I would say Seed Agri is ready and our athletes are ready. And with the opportunity this platform provides, we can scale this model across the continent and beyond. Let's transform athletes into agri-food champions, and Africa, especially, into a global leader in sustainable nutrition. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Isaac, for sharing your valuable insights with the Global Nutripreneurs community. That was an engaging and thought-provoking presentation. I'd now like to ask you a few questions to dive a little deeper into your experience and perspective.
Yeah.
Okay. I can continue asking you the question once you're visible in my screen, once you stop sharing the screen.
Oh, okay. Let
Okay.
me stop sharing. Thank you.
Okay. So, Isaac, as a sports business and innovation expert, what inspired you to launch Seed Agri? How did you identify agriculture as the ideal second chance career path for retired professional athletes?
Thank you. The major driving force is to solve the opportunity that presents itself. We see a lot of athletes, when they have challenges with their career, not able to continue. And they all littered our community. And there is the urgent need for us to make agriculture very attractive to the young generation. So we believe that those two pillars will contribute to African entrepreneurial opportunities and create employment in that space for the youth. Like, you know, Africa is the youth headquarters of the world. So when you have youth who has nothing to do, and he has his own social challenges on his own, and the fact that a lot of them are becoming Gen Zs, they're not imbibing, they don't see agric as an interesting industry. But if we create that connect with what they're already used to, then they will accept and then they will become agripreneurs that we want them to be.
Thank you for sharing that perspective. That's a very valuable insight again. Building on that, I'd like to move to my next question. The Seed Agri blueprint follows a recruit, train, launch, scale framework. Could you walk us through how you translate the athletic discipline and performance mindset of a professional athlete into practical agri entrepreneurship and supply chain management?
Again, like I said earlier on, agri athletes are already used to seasonalities. You understand? There's a time they sleep, there's time they wake, there's a time they eat. They're used to being disciplined. Coupled with the fact that a lot of athletes prepare before competition and they are training to win. These are very key attributes that we believe will help their transformation in becoming an agri entrepreneur. And it helps because they are already used to those processes. So, and we are training them. So we are recruiting them as if you recruit a footballer or an athlete for a football club. We then go to train them in the value chain expectation and the knowledge. And then we present to them the platform to experiment through connecting them with farms. And then some of them have what we call a community farm, where they all go to as a group to working. You understand? And then lastly, they want to win something at the end of the season. So their harvests are very important to them. So these are cycles that we believe an average athlete is used to. We're only just making it work in the new way that they can then imbibe it as a second line skill, so that they don't wait till the time when injury sets and they can't play again. They're already involved in it. And so even when they retire, an injury did not set and they retire, they can also even take their money and invest in the agri value chain.
That's a very interesting way to look at it. So moving on to our next question. You've secured strong partnerships with organizations like Nigeria League One and high-profile ambassadors like Dan Amokachi. How vital are these sports ecosystem partnerships in changing the mindset of young athletes towards agriculture before they reach retirement age?
So when you look at the sport ecosystem, there is partnership is key. And that's why you will see that a lot of brands associate with sport events. They want to gain some word of mouth or brand recognition. That is exactly what we are also doing. We have gone to partner with a football ecosystem because essentially football season is not a year-long activity. Most of them are between 6 and 8 months. So in a year, you still have like 4 or 5 months to also do other things. But essentially because the Nationwide League has a constellation of the youngest football players, whom we believe that a lot of them are going to be transferred and they will make a lot of money. So we're beginning to teach them now that don't wait till when you start making money. Start learning a skill that when you now make money, you can invest it in the agri ecosystem and make more money. You understand? And the best way we can prove that is to seek out people who are already doing that. And that's how we're grateful for an ambassador like Daniel Mokachi, who is an ex-international. He played in arguably the best period of football in Nigeria. And is a household name. And he's investing, even when he retired, he invested in a big farm in Kaduna, not part of Nigeria. And we're using him as a mentor to showcase to some of these young footballers that it is possible to actually either invest, which is employment, and create employment rather. or use it to empower yourself so that if anything happens, you are secured and you don't have to be begging for peanuts. There are a lot of athletes in Nigerian story who have died in penury because they do not have a second line of skill. So when injury sets in, the world happened to them, like they used to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for highlighting that. That leads us nicely to the next topic. Africa's food and agri market is projected to reach 1 trillion by 2030. $1 trillion by 2030. While sports, nutrition, and performance food demand are growing rapidly, how can entrepreneurs in seed agri leverage their unique understanding of sports, nutrition to tap into these high value market segments?
Okay, thank you. Well, another point that I would like to make is the fact that when we were seeking the partnership with the NLO, one of the things that appealed to us is the fact that they have clubs in every part of Nigeria. And if you understand the Nigeria ecosystem or the Nigerian landscape, we operate in regions, and different regions, even according to a World Bank report, says that every region is profitable. And so some regions have dry lands, some are very close to the riverine areas. So one of the things we have done is to also look at that and take those specific geography to teach the recruited athlete specific part of the value chain. So we have aquaculture for people who are in the south part of the country where they are very close to the river. So they're producing fish and water-based plants. You understand? The people in the north are taking advantage of products that are able to grow in those spaces. But one key thing when you look at all this is the fact that an average athlete itself is supposed to be a nutrition machine because the activity they do every day takes a lot of nutrition to be replaced. So we are also encouraging them to see the opportunity that their skill, for example, a lot of fish can be made into protein powders that you don't need to go and use on science-based protein to improve your muscle mass, for example. You understand? Again, a lot of the produce can be worked on to produce different things that even directly is useful for an athlete, both as recovery, both as a snack before competition on a match day, and the others are possible to be shipped into the bigger community where people then can also patronize them and then exchange value for those products. So essentially, we're making them to see the opportunity to contribute to their own personal nutritional support and then socially to contribute to the global agri-food and nutritional ecosystem.
Those are some excellent points. Let's explore another important aspect. So, GlobalNutriPreneurs is a global virtual accelerator bringing together agri-tech, capital, and market access across over 150 countries. How can members, investors, and mentors within our global ecosystem partner with Seed Agri to help you scale this model beyond West Africa?
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity for being in this global community. And for us, one of the things we believe it will do for us is it will shine light on what we're doing so we could get attraction or attracted by global social entrepreneurs who will see what we're doing as something commendable and will support us in terms of resources. We know that you have a lot of people scattered all over the world. And so this is a very beautiful platform for us to talk about what we're doing and where we intend to take it to. So we believe on that pedestal, we could co-create a lot of opportunity for athletes, which can become something that people can begin to study, and different climates globally can begin to copy what we're already doing. But on our own part, we need a lot of resources to be able to do this at scale. We're just still doing at just one league, and we want to be able to move to the other sport. We want to be able to reach our global target is to reach 5 million youth in the next 5 years. And we believe GlobalNutriPreneurs can help us to achieve that big, audacious proposition.
I think that gives our audience a lot to reflect on. What an incredible masterclass of a conversation. Thank you for sharing your blueprints with us today. Your profound insights reinforce exactly why GlobalNutriPreneurs exists, to bridge the critical gap between commercial profitability and sustainable social impact. To everyone tuning in across our global network, whether you are an innovator, an investor, or a policymaker, the path to plugging into this unified agri-food operating system is clear. For agri-food entrepreneurs and founders, stop struggling in isolation. Fast-track your venture through our customized scaling pathways, leverage our AI-driven mentor matching, and utilize our automated regulatory compliance hubs to make your business cross-border ready. For accredited investors, eliminate the noise of unvetted pipelines. Access our pre-evaluated investment-grade nutri-businesses directly through our integrated virtual deal room and secure your stake in the next era of health and wellness. For industrial and academic partners, collaborate with us. Let's unlock deep tech innovation through our Global Agri-Food Nutrition Research and Development Forum and actively build a more equitable ecosystem by championing leadership at our Women in Food, Agriculture and Nutrition Forum. Together, we can maximize our global networks and delay decentralized common facility centers to actively drive that 40% reduction in global post-harvest food losses. The future of the global agri-food economy is no longer about survival. It is about sustainable nutrition, scientific excellence, and friction-free global trade. Visit globalnutripreneurs.com to secure your application, verify your venture, and claim your place in the future of food innovation. Thank you for joining us on Global Nutripreneurs. Until next time, keep innovating, keep scaling, and build with impact. Thank you. Have a good day.